What's up, everybody? Hopefully you're having a beautiful Sunday evening, Sunday night, as it were, wherever you are located. What's up, Jamie? How you doing?
Hey, good, David. Hey, guys.
So, welcome. We got VA Prepper. What is up?
What's
Christian
up?
Mojica, Matt Henrik, Mandolin,
What's up?
a mom with dogs.
Oh, that's me.
That's you. We got Rants, Bourbon Lover.
What's up?
Hopefully you guys are having a great Sunday. Tonight we're having a conversation because I need your guys' input. What's up, Utah Mike? How are you doing? Tomorrow's Monday, and that does suck. I am not looking forward to tomorrow. I actually have to work tonight. I got a deadline on Tuesday. Yeah, and so I need to do.
That's the first I've heard now.
I need to do some writing tonight.
Stacking Benjamins.
Stacking Benjamins. What up? What up? So tonight we're talking about next level preps. Once you got the basics, once you got the food that you're able to store, so the reality is that some folks, maybe you live in an apartment and you don't have, you can't stock thousands of pounds of food and thousands of gallons of water, right? You have, so where do you put your money after you've filled what you can, right? Once you got your food, you got your water, you got your basic bug out stuff, you got your camping gear, and where do you spend your money next? The reason I'm asking isn't just like me telling you. This is going to be a conversation with the folks that are live with us because, frankly, I need to know where to spend money next. I feel like we've got lots of food. Mm-hmm. I feel like we were a good spot for water. I feel like we're good for a lot of the gear and bug out stuff. But there's some kind of next level stuff that I'm tempted to get, but some of it can be pretty expensive. And so I want to know, I got tons of ammo, Matt. No, Matt's great ones, ammo. I'm constantly buying ammo just because I'm constantly practicing and using it. Alternate power, that's a great one. So just to fill you on more solar. So right now I have a what's the generator? The solar generator I have. It's an EcoFlow Delta, not Eco. It's an EcoFlow. It's not the Delta. It's the bigger one. It's it says what 3,000 watt hours, and I can't remember exactly which one. I see it. I just can't remember the name of it.
That's interesting. Night vision. I'm shopping for thermal scopes.
That's where I'm. That's one of the things that's on my list.
Yeah.
So I've got a really good solar generator I can plug into the house. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, I have enough 400 watt solar panels. I've got a bunch of different 400-ish range solar panels that I can put in parallel in series that I can charge my generator with about 4 hours of mediocre sunlight. So I can actually power it pretty quickly and recharge the thing. So, I can at least get, a decent amount of electrical. My ammo I'm constantly buying. So I kind of have like a cyclic thing where I buy, add some to storage plus to my practice stash. So night vision is something that's on my list to do. I don't have any night vision at all. So picking up a Gen 2 plus Gen 3 PVS 14 type of thing, plus either a bump helmet or a ballistic helmet. Ballistic helmet's only like 500. So, but yeah, something like that. It's on my list. Starlink, still don't have Starlink, so I'm thought about picking up a Starlink Mini. Mm-hmm. So we have internet. If the actual internet goes down at the house, we still have Starlink, so we can do that. Utah Mike, that's a great question. We don't have a freeze dryer. I've got one of those big plug-in dehydrators, but I don't have a freeze dryer, so that would be something to consider. A bug out location would be great, but I don't have the money for that. So really, it's kind of because to buy some property here in Virginia or even West Virginia would be more thousands of dollars that I don't have. Night vision, I could, that would kind of be like the ceiling. I don't feel like a thermal, like a high quality thermal. I'd have to do like a lower quality thermal to really consider. And I think for me, between night vision and thermal, I would rather have a PVS 14 first than thermal. Base PVS 14 before thermal. But I would rather have PVS 14 and thermal before I had two dual tube night vision. I'd rather have one of each. It's a good point. Freeze dryer is a fabulous idea. Yeah, that's a good one. Those things can be kind of expensive, but they are really nice to have. Rob says, nice. Any type of night vision can be helpful. Amazon has the cheap ones that are started. And that's a good point too. Like I've been holding out from doing any night vision until I can get like a, Gen 2, Gen 3, PBS 14, which is like $2,500. But the reality is even if you get like a low grade and Amazon type of one for like 500, that still gives you more capability than zero, which would be really, really handy. Body armor, I've got some body armor, but not enough. Like I've got body armor. I've got pistol grade body armor for myself, soft plates, but I don't have. I've got a couple of hard plates, but they're smaller people plates. For me with my chest, I have to get the 11x14 body armor. I can't do the 10x12.
I think Rob's got something there.
Please make sure you prep a Bible as well. 100%.
The world has tried for 2,000 years to squash that out. Never lose your faith through a storm. That's amen.
Amen to that. I can't.
Yeah.
Actually have my granddad's Bible right here. That's I shouldn't say my granddad's. It was my granddad gave it to me when I was baptized as a kid. I've had it ever since. It was his before he gave it to me. So I actually has his writing and some notes in there from him, which is pretty cool. Girlfriend, never mind.
Expense.
Fair enough. Yes. Having should you get a girlfriend? Yes, actually, I would highly recommend getting a girlfriend. And then maybe she can become a wife at some point. Matt says dual tube night viz MVDs can make you lose depth perception quickly. So my thought, Matt, and I'd appreciate because Matt's former military or still military, I think. He's still reserve, I think. And one thing anybody who's got the kind of a lot of night vision experience, my thinking is I'd rather have one good night vision device and one good thermal and be able to flip between them, right? Because there's certain times when night vision is very advantageous and there's certain times when thermal is very advantageous. So if I had my helmet set up and I had night vision on one side and thermal on the other, I'd actually put night vision on my right side because that's my dominant side and thermal on my left side. But that's kind of my at least from the research I've done, what I would probably do. Rob says, I bought a cheap $100 night scope on Amazon for my nephews. It was cute and cheesy, but better than nothing. It's valid. Yeah, it's really valid. I've seen some decent thermal reviews from some knockoffs from Amazon for thermal for like $500-$600 that, again, not the most amazing equipment, but better than nothing. Yeah, Matt's still in. UV light, regular flashlight. So one of the things, the thing about getting night vision is once you get into the night vision game, not only do you have to get the optic itself, right, that you get night vision, but then you have to have something to mount it to. So you either can do the skull crusher, or you can do a bump helmet, or you can do a ballistic helmet. But you have to invest in some kind of way to attach it to your head and then balance it so it's not falling forward all the time. Then on your rifle, whatever gun you're going to be running in the night, you then have to buy the whole illuminator setup and the laser setup and all that to put on your rifle, which even the knockoffs of that are almost $1,000. So it's once you get into the night vision game, it can get really, really, really expensive.
A bug out trailer.
So Matt, it wouldn't be at the same time because I don't think you could actually get your brain to process the night vision and thermal at the same time. But it would be more like I flip down the night vision. I'm doing night vision. I flip the night vision up and I flip down the thermal. So I flip back and forth between them. That would be the idea, depending on the scenario. Yeah, so thermal, you don't get the blinding that you do with night vision. The only problem with thermal is it's surface dependent. So with night vision, you can see into a window, right? Like a car window, you can see into the window to see if there's somebody. At thermal, you just get the temperature grade of the glass. You can't actually see into the window. Okay. It's wild how it's again
they
different.
It doesn't pick up the heat.
Not the heat inside the car. It picks up the temperature of the glass of the car. So if somebody's in the car with thermal, you can't see, or in a house, for example, you can't see into the window like you can with night vision. So rants, that's a good one. That's on high on my list. Now we have the tax stamp going to 0 for SBR items, and including suppressors and silencers. So with that going to 0, that's definitely on my list. I was trying to get one before, actually, before the because there's probably going to be a backlog once they drop the that $200 tax stamp. But you know, suppressors range from $400 on the really cheap side to the $1,200-$1,500 for one. I would love to get one. So my home defense rifle right now, so if something goes bump in the night, I have a nightstand gun. I have my everyday carry that's also close to me. But then I have something nearby that's actually a pistol caliber carbine at 9mm. I would love for that pistol caliber carbine to have a suppressor on there, just because if I do have to start shooting inside at night in defense of the home, I would rather have that be suppressed to an extent.
Utah Mike says, wife says a hard no to the girlfriend.
Yeah, sorry about that, Utah Mike. I didn't realize that that you already had a wife. I took that as a girlfriend being the only relationship you would be in. So yeah.
Blush, David.
Well, I have a wife and I don't want a girlfriend. What? Like, it's just a headache. Northwest Bourbon says, I would not have 2 different optics on my helmet. Be very front heavy, pushing your forward. That's a very, very valid thing. So, that's a good, okay. And he says, put the night vision on the helmet and just put the thermal scope on the rifle when needed. And that's actually a great option, because some of the new thermal scopes that I've seen, they're literally quick detach, so you can just pop them on and off rifles. That's a great option too. Yeah, that's a great one. Thank you for that. Stacking Benjamin's, okay, so sounds like you're good on food defense offense. Have you started land nav? Like practicing land navigation, or like the gear for it? Because I have the gear for it. If that's what you're saying, Stacking Benjamins, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure. Tax stamp elimination will lead to crazy long lead times. That's exactly what I'm worried about, is that the lead times on the suppressors. I was trying to get them in before, trying to get one before the end of the year, but the government shutdown kind of screwed my budget. And so, because I do consulting services for people who work for the government. I don't actually work for the government anymore, but if they're not getting money, they can't pay me. So struggle with that a little bit. So anyway, I was trying to get a 5.56 dedicated 5.56 can and a 9mm one before the end of the year, and it just didn't happen. So I'll have to try. I'll probably throw my hat in the ring once the lines die down, and hopefully it'll be the spring before they hopefully they will get through the lines fairly quickly into the year, and by spring it will be more of an option. Matt says, rather than have 2 head mounted nets. Yeah, okay. So you guys are all giving me the same advice. That's a great option. Yeah. And the benefit of that is putting the thermal on the rifle. Even if you don't have night vision helmet on, you still have that thermal on your rifle. So that's a really, really good option. Good one. Yeah, Mandolin says they're both correct. That's right. Yeah, no, I know my area really well. I know where the water sources are nearby. We're kind of sandwiched right against the Marine Corps Quantico base. So our neighborhood, literally across the street from our neighborhood, is the base. And so we have that, which the base has resources, which, I'm not saying I want to go on the base to get to those resources, but separate from there, right across from our neighborhood is a kind of a protected area, which I'm a member of, but they have 2 ponds and streams, different streams going in there. There's another lake in the neighborhood next, basically the neighborhood behind us. There is a whole lake back there. And so we have lots of natural water around us. Yeah. Not that we want to rely on that, which is why I have the water stored that we do. Satellite phone's a good idea. I think that, what do you guys think about? So for me, I feel like Starlink would be a better option than a satellite phone.
So
Starlink is Elon. I know you.
Okay, I was like,
what's Starlink?
I don't really know.
So Starlink is basically Elon Musk's satellite internet service.
Okay.
So they have a Starlink Mini. They have a couple different models of dishes, But the Starlink Mini is about yay big, and it packs into a little briefcase if you want. It has this battery, there's some batteries you can attach to it. But it's basically a mobile internet station that connects to the satellite. So for us, we have cable-based internet at our house. And so we've had issues when the storms have knocked out the lines and stuff that we lose our internet. So if power were to go out to the house, we lose our internet and we lose our power. But we've had situations where we've just lost the internet. If that were to happen, I could literally just fire up the Starlink and we could all just Wi-Fi to the Starlink and then connect to the internet or Starlink. So we would never be without internet. I'd literally just plug it in. They would have to take the satellites out of space.
Okay.
So in theory, if there was an EMP that took out satellites, a sufficient amount of satellites to bring down Starlink, then yeah, it's possible. But it would be a very drastic thing.
That would be pretty high on the list then, I guess.
And they just I just heard they dropped the price of the Starlink Mini. It used to be $500. It's down into the $200 now. So for like $200 plus a whatever monthly commitment, you can get Starlink, which seems almost like a no-brainer. I mean, for the less than the cost of a pistol, you can actually end up with a pretty good resource there. VA Prepper, books, and more books. That's a great option. One thing that I've thought about doing, VA Prepper, is I do have some prep books, which you see behind me. I've got a few others that I don't have on the shelf, but I don't have a lot. One thing I thought about doing is getting like a Kindle and having a Kindle and then just loading it with books and then putting the Kindle into my my Faraday cage and then having that as a resource. I think paper books are a great option. And I'd have those as my primary, and there are more books to get that I should get. But then having that Kindle with thousands of books and just having that there as like a backup. And plus I can take the Kindle with me if we have to bug out, which I can't really take the physical books with me.
Good night, Stacking Benjamins.
Have a good one, man. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Utah Mike, for if you're Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, water all day long, you cannot store enough water. That is 100% true. I appreciate you subbing to the channel. Have a good evening. Starlink is touching a oh wow, Starlink is launching a direct-to-cell service, so you could use your existing phones. Way more useful than lugging around a dish. That'd be really cool too. I'd be a fan of that.
So what is the cost different? Like what's the cost for that then?
I don't know. I have to look into it. I didn't know they were doing that. That's the first I've heard of it. So thank you, Matt, for that. I'll have to dive into it. I still want to do the dish just for my house, but yeah, being able to actually hook a phone directly up to Starlink would be amazing. That'd be great. Utah Mike says large heated greenhouse. That would be cool. Yeah, where we're at right now, we can't do kind of infrastructure type of stuff like that. So we'd have to hold off on that. Yeah, like right now we can't do chickens or rabbits, and we've had chickens and ducks before in our last house, but in this one we can't. So Rand says we tried Starlink on the boat, but the antenna has to point north, so it didn't work too well for us because we were constantly turning different directions. That's a good point. I've heard complaints about that exact problem with Starlink. With us being, when we would deploy Starlink, we would basically be stationary at the house, or if we bugged out, we'd bug out, be on foot or be in the car, get to camp for the night and then pull it out for a little bit or whatever, something like that. With things like Starlink gaining steam, do you think there is still value in ham, CB, GMRS, and do you think the licensing carries value, or is just knowing? So one, I think knowing the operations is acceptable as a base. Like if that's what you are willing to invest, whatever, just knowing the basics of radio, I think is great. I do think there's a place for ham, CB, GMRS, just for the fact that ham doesn't require anything in space. So for example, if you had ham equipment and you've got it shielded for EMPs, if that were to happen, if for some reason we lost all the satellites, right, which is possible, right? I mean, there are certain scenarios in which if we have a massive solar type flare solar, like a Carrington type style. What is it? Coronal mass ejection. Sorry. Something like that could take out satellites. I know the satellites are shielded for it, but if it's strong enough, it could bring them all down. So, yeah, I think having ham CB traditional radio that doesn't rely on anything in space, there's this place for it. I do think that. Mm-hmm. All right, Matt says sent you. Okay, thank you, Matt. I'll have to check that out. Appreciate cool. That.
Yeah.
Okay, Irish Rove. Wait, I can't read that.
Irish Rover in Florida.
Irish Rover in Florida says, don't forget about Mesh-tastic when everything else goes down. Mesh. That's a good point. They've used that really heavily in Ukraine, actually. So, essentially, term? So essentially it's an internet architecture, for lack of a better word, where every device becomes a node in the mesh fabric. So the idea being, for example, if my phone was part of the mesh, then it could connect to your phone, and your phone's part of the mesh, and then it connects to our kids, and that becomes part of the mesh, and then maybe our neighbors, right? Then that would connect to theirs, and then it would basically all of them, and then our whole neighborhood would become a whole mesh network. Oh. And so we could actually communicate amongst all of us as part of this mesh. So that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So when you don't have like a hardcore internet, and essentially what happens is with that mesh, if one of those nodes can actually find the real internet, everybody on the mesh gets it. Now it's slow because there's latency and stuff, but that's a great point. Now I don't know much about Mesh-tastic personally, like I've never tried it, but I will have to definitely check it out. So yeah, Matt, yeah. And see, I did some mesh architecture stuff in some of the work I did for the government in the early 2000s. But I'm sure it's much, much more advanced these days. No, Matt. So Rance is a boat captain on the Mississippi, not in the Navy. Commercial shipping. But so yeah, so Starlink, body armor, night vision, thermal, and so with all this different type of stuff, like you kind of have to look at your preps and figure out what makes the most sense based on what you think is going to happen or what are likely scenarios. For us, okay, I can't get you, Matt. For us, where we are with our situation, I think Starlink's a no-brainer. And that's kind of a low cost one these days. Like it used to be like a much more expensive thing to get into. So that's something like $200, $200+ plus either a free or monthly commitment. It's pretty reasonable. Night vision's $2,500 just for the basic starter stuff. Body armor, I think, is down the list for me.
Really?
It is.
I mean, what would you call the body armor? Because I know, like, you've gotten us all gear to wear if we had to go on foot somewhere. So, like, what's body armor? So like, just
I should be more specific. So it's ballistic plates.
Oh,
so to catch bullets when they come at you.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. The problem with body armor is if you have say you have a level 4 plate or like a level 3 special threat plate, and you get hit with the 5.56, the deformation on the backside of that is going to hit you so hard, or maybe not a 5.56, say a 308 or a higher caliber rifle. The deformation on the back is going to be so wounding that you're still going to need medical care, like trauma care. And the wounds from that, if not treated, can be significantly impactful to kill you anyway, or to off you anyway. So I'm not sure that the weight plus, I don't know. I struggle with the body armor argument, guys. I don't know where you are on the body armor stuff. I struggle with that being a SHTF necessity. What's up, Ditch Doc? How you doing? Glad you made it. Thanks for hopping on.
So wait, David, we do have to answer this one.
Which one?
And I feel like...
All right, bourbon basement. David, if long-term SHTF happens, will you try to brew your own bourbon, or will that be the end?
I feel like you'd
no.
go kick the door down of the ABC store and scavenger.
No.
That would be your new hunting.
No. No, I don't actually have anything to do that with. Actually, some people though, some people actually have the equipment to have a still.
We'd go find them.
And being able to, well, it's a great resource to have because you can distill water with it. You can distill.
No jokes here.
Yeah, you can usually, use any kind of grain in essence, or potato, I mean, whatever it is, to distill and get high proof alcohol, which then can be used for medicinal purposes, trade, a bunch of stuff. So being able to actually distill your own alcohol in an SHTF situation, a long-term one, is amazing. Like that's great. I don't have that ability, and it's not really on the top of my list. But if you're into it, it's, to buy the equipment for it's not crazy expensive. You could probably get away with it.
Yeah. So
mandolin, yes. You military folks, I'd love your input here, because I know mandolin's was former military as well. And yes, body armor saves lives in combat. My question is so, like, for example, in GWAT, so in the global war on terror, when we'd have soldiers in the Middle East, a lot of times they had body armor on, and they would take a hit in the plate, and they would get medevaced, get treated. Was the plate sufficient to stop, like, the wound, or was the back deformation of the plate? So once the plate gets hit, it bends into the body. Now, if it's ceramic plate, maybe it doesn't do it as much, but multiple hits would the back plate, the back face deformation, cause enough trauma that had they not been medevaced, they would have died anyway? Whether they got hit, obviously if they got hit the round, they would have died. If they got hit in the plate, and then they had the trauma from the deformation in the back, was that trauma enough to kill them if they didn't get medical experience? Because again, if we're in an SHTF situation and, God forbid that happens, and God forbid you ever get shot, if you had the plate on, obviously in an SHTF, you get hit in the chest, you're probably going to die, or you're probably going to cease to live. But then if it hit the plate instead, and it created a 3-inch, getting punched in the chest by a 3-inch fist with the power of a rifle round, would that trauma actually kill you or not without medical intervention? Which means either way, and I'm not saying it would or wouldn't, because there's a lot of questions, and I'm again looking for input here from y'all. But if you took that trauma to the chest, would that, obviously the round would kill you, but would the back plate deformation kill you or off you? Oh, Mike's got non-electric distiller to purify water. That's cool. That's cool. That's the word I was looking for, was starch. Anything that could, you could use to actually feed the yeast sugar. Basically, you could, in alcohol. Turnips, a turnip distilled liquor sounds amazing. That's funny. There we go. Yeah, definitely make you really sore. That's for sure. Plates. Okay, man, a bourbon's basement is base keep you alive, but it still really effing hurts. Plates, in my mind, for an offensive or warlike situation, chest rig, utility belts, what's needed for. And that's kind of where I've been at bourbon basement, is having the utility of plates. I mean, I'd rather have plates than no plates. But if I were bugging out on foot, would I want to take even if you get ceramic plates, they're still going to be 10 pounds. Would you want that extra 10 pounds in plates to bug out, or would you rather that 10 pounds be more food?
Well, it depends. Would you throw your body in front of me if the bullets were coming at me?
No.
So I don't have to wear the 10-pound plates?
Are you kidding? I'm not getting in the way.
Oh,
somebody's
really?
got to try to keep you alive.
Come on.
Nobody's going to try to keep me alive.
David's like, I'm ready for that girlfriend in the future.
Next wife. All right. All right, Manuel says, I know how to treat pension. Okay. Chest stars for the win. You need some more advanced medical care, but 100% need hospital level care. Wait, but not 100%. Okay. So place would be helpful. I would like to have more plate. Obviously, I've got some soft panels for pistol. I do want to get some hard, the 11 by 14, the extra large sappy plate size, which is what I need. They're more expensive, so I've kind of been reluctant to buy them. I do have some 10 by 12 steel plates, but he said, yeah. You're bruised either way. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. But again, the rifle round hitting you is gonna hurt worse, I guess. So, yeah. Irish Raven in Florida says better to have and not need 100%.
Irish
Rover. What did I say?
In Florida, Raven.
Irish Raven. That sounds pretty cool. That's a cool YouTube channel name. Anyway, Irish Rover in Florida says, yeah, better need. And I get you with that. And that's why it's on my list and under consideration. But it's like night vision, suppressors, ballistic armor, body armor, dehydrator, food dehydrator, a freeze dryer. I should say not dehydrator. I have a dehydrator, but I don't have a freeze dryer. So, yeah. Okay, Manless says, bottom line, it all depends on what kind of SU you plates bug out. Yeah, that's the stand your ground situation. That's a good point. And stand your ground or offensive, having body armor as a capability that you could throw on, 100%. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So,
is there like an underground bunker me and the women and children can go?
Not yet. Not yet. We're working on it. We're gonna work on it though. Yeah. So yeah. No, I hear you, Matt. Yeah, hardening the home, that's a great one to spend money on. Like I 100% am a fan of that. Putting on, the security screws on your doors, being able to bar windows and
that's actually a pretty good idea.
Putting security film, like shatterproof, putting like the shatterproof film on your windows and if you have doors that have windows built into them, which I hate those so much. Another thing we didn't talk about is drones. That's actually something that we've talked about doing, is getting a drone. We don't have one, but having the option of being able to actually put a drone in the air, in an SHTF situation and assess what's going on around you. Yeah. I think that's a really strong capability, especially if you're in a suburban setting or even a semi-rural setting. I think that's a really good. When you get into super country, I'm not sure it's quite a strong thing because there's the drone distances and stuff before you have to turn around. You can't get far enough to see what's going on. Yeah. But David Little said, my current wife told me I'm going to have one ex-wife and one widow. Yeah, I get that.
Smart lady.
So what minimum acreage would you recommend to be comfortable? I guess it depends on the area. So here in Virginia, most counties have a county law that if you have more than 5 acres, you can shoot on the property as long as where you shoot is, a couple 100 yards from the nearest neighbor, for example. So if I were in Virginia, which I am, and I were buying property, I would want that. I would want that 5 acres so I'd have the option of shooting on my own property. I've seen some people do some amazing gardening and food production off of 1 acre. From just a regular 1 acre lot with a house on it. So you've got maybe half of the property that you could actually garden. I've seen people do like use square foot gardening techniques and like generate enormous amounts of food. Ideally, more the merrier though. The more land you can get, the better. Realistically, if I could have 10 acres, that would be kind of perfect, because on 10 acres, I can actually have a decent amount of livestock. So in addition to the house, yard, garden, and whatnot, then I still have a good amount of space for livestock. Although when, the last place we lived in, we were just over 5 acres on that lot. And we had chickens and we had ducks and a creek. And so that was pretty good. Couldn't have cattle or goats or anything, but
yeah.
Do you want goats?
No.
No,
unless we have. If we had 5 acres, sure, because
true.
I don't mind, but
Irish Rover Florida says, I'm an older lad. There's no bugging out for me. Well, I mean, I know it's not a first choice for anybody, because I really do believe that the first choice should always be bugging in. Like, you bug in until there's a reason that you have to bug out. Like, bugging out is a have to. It's the last choice. Whether it's a, if it's a not a smaller disaster, but like wildfires in California, fires are coming. You have to leave your house.
Exactly what I thought of when he said his remark.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. So you load up what you can, and you get out. But I'm with you. Bugging in is always the preference.
Or you go down with the home.
Yeah. Mike says, except for fire. Exactly. Well, I mean, there are situations where, for whatever reason, there's an end of rule of law and roving gangs are happening and they've taken over your area and you have to leave or they're going to kill you. Ooh. So you leave and you do the best you can.
Well, Rand said next time I go home, I'll send you some stuff we have freeze dried and you can let me know what you think. It tastes exactly like homemade once you add water back to it.
Well, and that's the coolest thing, Rance. That's awesome. Thank you.
We share whiskey and
I know. That's one of the coolest things about having a freeze dryer is you can actually make the food that your family is used to and comfortable eating. Mm-hmm. Then you freeze dry it and then you just add water to bring it back to normal and it's good for years. And so you can literally create your own freeze-dried food storage. Freeze-dried food is so expensive to buy, like Mountain House meals and stuff. And they're good for like 20, 30 years. So if you freeze-dried the stuff your family's used to eating, I mean, that's such an amazing capability to have. Bourbon Basement says, in all fairness, bugging out is the last. Yeah, for sure. So Bourbon Basement votes for thermals and NVGs. Good call. So a DJI drone, 3 miles. Yeah. And so if I lived on, 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere, I'd like to have a drone to see what's going on my property. But for like where we live, like knowing what's going on, not just around me, but around my neighborhood. And then, being able to see the main road, you know what I mean? Without having to be on the main road is kind of a big deal. Cincinnati Place has its own drone team in each precinct. Yeah. So, and that's a really cool thing. I actually heard an interview from this drone company. It was a Sean Ryan show. And they were talking, the CEO of this drone company was on, and they were talking about some of the drone techniques that they're deploying within cities to do exactly what you're talking about, Matt, of being able to track people who flee from the police. If there's reports of shot fired, for example, they can get the drones from the drone. They usually deploy the drones like at fire departments on the roofs of fire departments. So the drones will take off from the fire department, fly over to where these shots fired are, be able to assess the situation while the police are en route to actually know what's going on before they even get in there. And so I think that's I mean, for what they're doing at the police level, I think it's just a great thing to have. But for me, if I hear noises far from the house in an SHTF situation and I put a drone up and I can fly over and see what it is without ever having to risk my life or limb or somebody else in my group, I think that's great.
What's up, Diego?
What's up, Diego? Utah Mike says, I'm trying to get to go ahead for a turret on the roof. That's pretty cool. I'll be honest. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I hadn't really thought about that, but Christian Mojica says, we recently got new windows installed and we went with tempered glass. Now, that's tempered glass. Even if you don't have tempered glass, just putting the film, the anti-shatter film on. And then like what we do, I have literally rolls of duct tape in my storage to put on the windows in an SHTF situation. Yeah. So that if they do start to, shatter, they won't shatter out. They'll just, small pieces will shatter and then I can recover them up. All right, Bourbon Basis, a well-planned acre can be a sustainable 100%. And that's what I mean. Yeah. you can get a lot from a little bit of land if you plan, but it has to go perfectly. So having room, margin for error, like I think 10 acres, because if you can plant crops on say 2 or 3 of those acres and save the rest for livestock, you can feed a lot of people off of 2 or 3 acres plus. If you can have, goats, chickens, rabbits. And I'm telling you, rabbits are the most optimal critter for an SHTF situation. If you are wanting to get into, animal husbandry for food, check out rabbits if you haven't. And I know I've talked to Jamie about getting rabbits, and she's just not a fan of eating rabbits.
I mean, obviously, when it comes down to it, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to having them and raising them. I just don't want to eat them until I have to.
Yeah. So bourbon basements, 5 acres is the minimum for livestock. 10 to 30 was ideal for me. Yeah. Like in my ideal world in Virginia, 10 acres would be great. Like, because where we live, 10 acres is about as big as you can get.
Yeah.
Realistically. Awesome. If we can get out to West Virginia, then I would want to go for more, from 10 to 40. So, yeah, that'd be great. Oh, nice. Built a deer skinning rack. That's very, very cool.
You were talking about getting it. David's you're not into hunting, but you were talking about.
Yeah. We were talking about going deer hunting.
You're missing your season right now.
Well, Virginia has the world's longest deer season.
Oh, really?
It's technically 7 months long.
Really? When does it end?
It runs.
I know we're in it right now, right?
The early season, I want to say, starts like in September, and it runs all the way through May. It's
wow, May.
Well, it's like some of it's rifle, some of it's archery, some of it's black powder, some of it's. Then they have like within that, there's like, okay, well, at this part of the time you can only go after bucks. At this part of the time you can go after anything. At this time you can only go 1 buck, but you have to then take out like 4 does. Like, I mean, they have all kinds of different rules here in Virginia. We have so many deer, they want you to literally take as many as you can. All right, Matt says, as a combat engineer, if we are bugging in, the yard is about to become a great game of left minesweeper. Very good point, Matt. It's good skills to have. Good skills to have. Oh, man. All right, let's see. 3 to 5 acres, meat rabbits and meat chickens. Amen to that, man. So we had meat ducks, we had egg-laying chickens, and then we didn't get rabbits. That was one of the things I wanted to do at the last house, but we just never did. It was just too much of a.
What's up, commitment. Dennis, the bourbon dad? Hey.
Hey, what's up, Dennis? How you doing?
Good to see you. Or hear you.
Yeah.
Or hear from you.
Bourbon Basement says, let's be fair. Everyone in chat right now wishes we could take a single cab 4x4 Toyota Tacoma mounted. Yeah, 100%. I'm actually looking at so Jamie's car is
not a car, it's a Jeep.
Well, Jamie's vehicle is my / now hers. It's a 4-door Jeep, 2018 4-door Jeep Wrangler lifted.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but you haven't seen to mine. You take the kid car all the time.
because I put a lot of miles on my vehicles when I drive. Yeah. I have to go see my kids.
He drives. So between us, we have 7 kids.
Yeah.
And 5 of them are under the age of 18. So it's like we have a Tahoe. So to carry all of them around. I drive that Tahoe into the ground. He's the Tahoe driver.
So the Tahoe is pushing 190,000 miles. And so I'm really tempted to actually sell it for before the engine blows up and pick up a Toyota.
My son actually hit an owl with our Tahoe too.
True.
An owl. Oh, it was so pretty.
Yeah, it was a really pretty owl. It was stuck in the front grill of the Tahoe.
Luckily, everybody.
I had to pull it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody was fine, but the bird wasn't. Obviously. Broke his neck. Really pretty bird. Anyway. Yeah. But I'm thinking about selling the Tahoe and getting a Toyota 4Runner, and do the 4Runner life. So that's actually a prepping upgrade, I think. So. rabbits and pigs. Oh yeah, pigs are good.
Oh, I don't want pigs.
The biggest thing is about rabbits are the fact that you can, the females can be pregnant with multiple clutches at the same time. They grow to maturity super, super fast. If you get meat rabbits, like the breeds that are mainly for meat, the amount of food per, so you feed it, and then it eventually gets to a certain size, and that's like the ideal butchering size. The amount of food that goes into a rabbit to get to per pound of meat is lower than any other animal, lower than cows, lower than goats, pigs, anything.
What's up, Magic Prepper? Welcome to the stream.
Magic Prepper? Oh my gosh, are you serious? I love your channel. Welcome.
I'm Jamie. This is David.
I actually watch his stuff all the time.
I feel like
I'm blushing a little bit now. I know, right?
I don't know who you are, but hey.
I know. No, I love your stuff, man. Really large channel, so very cool, man.
Oh, cool.
Appreciate you hopping on, saying hey. So, yeah. All right.
What do you gotta say?
I lost my place, man. I don't know. I'm a little, yeah.
Ask him a question. I mean,
so if you're here, Magic Prepper, and you're still paying attention. So next level preps. I got food, I got water, or just really for anybody. You get your food, you get your water, as much food as you can, you get as much water as you can. You've got the ability, basic ability to grow food if you had to. You've got your defense under control. You got good amount of ammo set up, rifles, pistols, you got all that kind of stuff set up. If you're going to go to the next level, where do you spend your money? Freeze dry, like a freeze dryer? Do you go with night vision? Do you go with thermal? Do you go with like a satellite comms, like a Starlink Plus setup? Do you do more, get ballistic plates, body armor?
You just asked him a lot of questions.
I know, but where do you spend the money? Where do you spend the money? Got a new 2021 4Runner. So the only tricky part I have for my 4Runner is I have to get the version that has 7 seats for the kids. And so that's the only thing. Dave, are you fangirling? I was just a little bit. It's under control now. I'm good to go. I'm a little good to go. So, so for me, I wouldn't actually be looking at a brand new 4Runner. I'd probably get a little bit older one. Since I'd be doing some modifications to it, I don't want a brand new one. It just, get something with 50, 60,000 miles, and hopefully, and a couple years old, be something like that. Arbrea sub, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wood stoves. So I built a house not too long ago. What was it? 7 years ago, I built that house. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to put a wood stove in the basement. That was like my big dream. Was to
the house he built with his wife,
with my ex-wife,
that he asked me to move into.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're into prepping and you want to not screw yourself, don't get divorced because it's expensive.
Wait, we wouldn't be married if you didn't get.
I'm not saying it was the wrong thing to do. I'm just saying if
you're in an unhappy marriage, get divorced. Okay.
All right.
Then
fair
it can end up.
Fair enough.
It can
end up in a better marriage.
Exactly.
I didn't want to say anything. I was close though.
We're talking about prepping, not marriage counseling here.
I know. I'll stay out of the marriage counseling business because I'm not very good at it. But yeah, anyway, I was building a house, and I wanted to put it was 2017, 18 when I started construction on the house. Geez, it took like almost a year and a half to build that thing. But I wanted to put a wood heater in the basement, and a wood burning stove in the basement. And I talked to the builder about it, and he's like, look, it's going to cost you almost $40,000 to do, because in Virginia, the code around a wood burning fireplace is so ridiculous that it's going to cost all this money and it's going to take all this time to get approval for it. And so he's like, if you want, just, we'll do because we were going to do like a whole home generation system. So on that house, I had 1,000-gallon, 1,000-pound propane tank buried in the yard. And then I was going to have
you might have to clear something up. Matt, nobody knows that joke. And now,
wait, which one?
Matt said something like number 9 is coming. Like
9. Okay, hold on. I've not been married 9 times.
Wife number 9 on deck.
So we have a joke in the community. Somebody,
the whiskey community.
Somebody made you. Okay, somebody. Yeah. Let me talk. Somebody made a joke years ago, so that Jamie was wife number 8. Okay, and so we would always
Joe Graves.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, his name's Joe Graves. A funny dude, and he made a joke about how Jamie was wife number 8, and if she didn't behave, I would look for number 9. So we've been this running joke. This is my second wife. I've only been married once before. And I don't ever want to get married again.
And if you ever find any evidence that he's been married 8 times before, you guys let me know, okay?
Tell her.
Send me the evidence.
Yes. Yes. Irish Rover in Florida says he's tried marriage and never again. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Yes, it is. It's both of our second marriage.
Yeah. So, great. So Ditch Doc says, made a comment, move to a free state. Yeah, I would love to move out of Virginia. Virginia is better than many states. I mean, obviously some people live in other states that are much more restrictive, but there's many other states that are better than Virginia. The problem is that I have kids here, and I can't.
We both have kids here,
and we can't move away from the kids. So we have ex spouses that we have to deal with until the kids are out of the house. So the best I could do would be go to West Virginia, which is something we've actually talked about potentially, is moving to West Virginia, because it would be, but we're not making good traction, as you can tell by your head shaking the other direction.
Like we have not.
We've talked about it.
Talked about it. It was like a one-way.
Yeah, we communicated about it.
I don't want to move to West Virginia.
We didn't make good progress. I'll just say that we didn't make good progress. So
sometimes, never mind. That's a
maybe
different
someday
live stream. I was about to say, sometimes when I'm like, I've driven through West Virginia before, and some parts of it are a little scary, but
all right. Magic Prepper, thank you so much for responding. He says, good question. Can you spend the money to make more money? Yeah, that's actually a great point. Yeah, he says, with the way things are going, that might end up being a lifeline. A secondary location seems wise, if not already available. That's a great one. So, and that's something that actually I've been really concerned about, not just personally, but just in general. With what's happening with the economy in general, the advent of AI into the workplace. We've already seen literally tens of thousands of people laid off over the last 3 or 4 months because of AI. The fact that Amazon is looking at replacing all their warehouse workers with robotics over the next couple of years, if not sooner. AI is going to continue to impact people more and more and more. And it's going to be harder and harder to find jobs. And the jobs that are available aren't going to be as good. I think that we're going to have this really tumultuous time. And so being able to make money now in other ways besides your primary job is a really, really good thing.
Well, that kind of brings up an interesting point too, is like David with, I mean, I guess Magic Prepper having a prepping channel is like, do you already have a secondary location? Interested to know.
Yeah, I mean, where we are in Virginia, having a secondary location, there's another guy on that puts out content on YouTube, and I do not know his name, and I apologize. But he's been posting a lot of shorts lately about living west of the Mississippi, and that if you're east of the Mississippi, you're screwed. And if you're west of the Mississippi, you have at least a fighting chance of surviving. And it all comes down to population density. I guess where he lives, there's like 2 people every square mile or something. I think he might be in Wyoming or something.
Oh, wow.
And there's something to be said for being very, very far off the grid for survival. Again, crowds are a bad thing, and having lots of land is a great thing. So in Virginia, I would love to be able to like bug out to, for us, the best place to bug out to would be like West Virginia within reasonable distance.
Yeah. So MP Gunther won marriage for 33 years. Good job.
Hey, good job. That's well done. Cheers to you.
Are you guys still happy?
Well,
if you're admitting to it.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, I think I missed a comment from Checker Pass. Checker Pass says my father-in-law had 60 acres for electric, no electric, ran to his house, ran a generator, and had an old diesel Nissan pickup truck with no electronics for years. A good bug out vehicle with no electronics is something I've dreamed about. I just honestly don't. I'm not mechanically inclined enough to do the work myself, and I don't know. You have to go so far back to get a car with no electronics these days. It's pretty tricky. All right. Utah Mike says, marriage was my best investment ever. Wife nudged me just enough to over excel in every way. Well, and I love being married. Don't get me wrong. We joke about finding wife number 9.
Oh, wait, I just alerted. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I love being married. Thanks,
I do,
David.
I do. I mean, not to you, but in the concept of marriage. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks, man.
I'm kidding. I'm going to hear about that one after the live.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Oh, Bourbon Basement in Illinois. Yeah, Illinois is definitely one of the harder states, less free states to live in. Gold and silver. I think there's a place for gold and silver. I think there's a really good place for like small amounts of silver, like tradable quantities of silver. Gold itself is a great investment for storing wealth. But, if you consider an ounce of gold is like what, $2,500 these days, $3,000. I can't remember exactly what the spot price is, but you're not going to be trading gold. You're going to, you're going to trade, an ounce of silver is what, $25-ish these days. I'm sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the precious metals much, but you can trade silver and it be, tradable. If you do the pre-70s, whatever, the silver coins, those are great things to trade. There's a place for investing in that stuff if you have the excess money, but I wouldn't do that until I had other preps in place: food, water, defense, etc., ability to bug out. I would prioritize that before I started investing in the gold and silver. But if you have money to invest in general, putting some in gold and silver, I think is a great hedge to inflation. Oh yeah. Silver. I particularly love silver because personally, because one is I've never had enough money to actually buy gold, but silver, you can buy, silver coins for, again, $20-$30 these days. And back when I first started, they were like, what, 12 or 14. You could buy like a bunch of silver coins and stick them in the safe and just have that. Never sold any. I just keep slowly adding to them. Yeah. Magic Prepper said, I personally don't have a secondary location yet, but it's we don't have a secondary location. My secondary location is to like go to some family's house, like go to my mom's, or my brother's. I got a brother in Ohio. My mom's in South Carolina. Some, they both of them have, particularly my mom has kind of a cool setup with a creek by her house and whatnot. Don't know if I want to live with all the cats, but
I was about to say, really,
in a HGF situation, I might have to. One thing about being more isolated, it's opportunities are harder to come by. Things go south, they can be harder to remove. And that's the thing is one of the things I've talked about before in other videos is the importance of building a community. And I think that in a long-term SHTF situation, the ability to build a community, you start with your group, right? Your family, your kids, your friends that come to your house. And that's your group. And then your group can expand to your neighbors, etc. The bigger you can build that group of people that are willing to work together and fight together and survive together, the better your chance of surviving.
Well, and in turns, I'm going to play devil's advocate there because then also there can be trouble when it comes to being around, community.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when there's limited resources.
And that's so the way I've always looked at it, and that's a great point.
Your neighbor Sam over there wants what you have here.
Sam. He's such a guy across his name, Sam. He's such a jerk.
No, we don't know a Sam.
But no, and that's a great point. And that's why I feel like you start in a scenario with your group, and your group is the people who you don't want to survive without. Like, right? They're your friends, your family,
and hopefully that's
people that are close.
It could roll out, but
and so that's who, when you you know, if an SHTF thing happened tomorrow, right? It's November, or excuse me, it's December in North America. Or it's December everywhere, but it's winter in North America, and we're not growing food in any sizable amount until spring. So we're having to live off of food storage until spring, and we can plant. And really, it's until spring, and then crops can actually come to maturity, and early crops come in July, kind of thing, June, July. And so your group is going to have to survive off your food storage until you can get food to grow. So that you want to control how big that group is. But as time goes on, and now you want to expand your group as, you know, crops come in, work with your neighbors in the spring.
I get it. I know what
and start
you're saying.
helping, you know, the neighbors that survived, you help them to build into the spring.
How much can you trust?
Well,
you know, it's just kind of like that situation and scenario. I've seen too many shows, you know.
Oh yeah, you love your murder mysteries, so you gotta watch them neighbors.
I'm not sure it's that. I'm like more like.
Oh well, how many times?
Walking Dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say in like Walking Dead, right? Like, isn't it like the main characters of Walking Dead? They would literally go into a community, blow the community up, and the community would fall and tear it down, and then they would move on to the next community. If you looked at it from like an outsider perspective, that's literally what like the Walking Dead characters did. They would go into a place, ruin the community,
and then go to like a lower and then
it's so funny
scavenger from house to house, and just like I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, 401ks are one of those things that you got to try to build your retirement. You got to try to build your savings, etc. And it's one of those things that to me happens in concurrence with, you know, all the stuff you do for prepping. Like, I think you should have a balanced approach to it. So you're working on long-term savings, you're working on long-term retirement savings, you're working on food storage, you're working on water storage, you're working on defense. You're kind of doing a little bit of everything and just moving everything, like raising the bar in every category. That I think is the right approach to preparedness, is you do a little bit of everything. Utah Mike.
Good night. We're probably gonna hop off soon too. My son's.
Oh yeah, it's after 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
The boys are gonna be here in about 5 minutes. So
all right. Well, Utah Mike, have a good evening.
Yeah.
15 work days.
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh, he retires in 15 days.
Congratulations.
15 work days. Congratulations.
Amazing.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
I wonder for you, because my stepdad, it was really, really hard to get him retired, like for him to retire. So hopefully it's a good change, and hopefully you've got a lot of things on your list that will keep you busy in retirement.
Yeah. Mountain Survival, what's up? How you doing? Anyway, so I mean, I appreciate everybody's feedback. You know, when it comes to like the next level preps, when you're looking at night vision, you're looking at Starlink, advanced communication capabilities, body armor, you know, food dehydrators, and you know, drones and all these things. For me, I think, and suppressors, that was another thing we talked about. I mean, I think the number one thing I want to get is Starlink, which one, it's a lower cost thing these days compared to night vision. But I really think that the next big purchase that I do is going to probably have to be night vision. It's becoming so common that I feel like not having it is a huge detriment compared to the people around me. Like, I live in Virginia. There's a lot of retired military. We live literally a stone's throw from Quantico Marine Corps Base. Night vision is going to be around in an
very
SHTF.
active lately.
They've been very active lately.
Not sure
we've lived here for a year and a half. We've been within hearing range of Quantico.
Was it Friday that they Friday morning?
Oh my God, they're blowing stuff up.
4 a.m.
Literally
5
shaking
a.m.
our whole house.
Yes.
Shaking our whole house. So I don't know what it is, but Magic Prepper, thank you so much for hopping on. Great to great to actually, you know, have you pay attention, and anyway, love your stuff. Keep it up. But yeah, VA Prepper says, David, what are you guys doing for boots? So
Timberlands.
Yeah, she's got a pair of waterproof Timberlands. I've got Danners. I actually just bought a pair of Keens, waterproof Keens today. I found them at Nordstrom Rack for like $80.
Yeah.
And I wanted to basically get those for when I wanted to beat my boots up, because my Danners, I love them and I don't want to hurt them. So I bought the Keens so that I can beat them up for cheap. So anyway,
yeah.
Homestead Engineering, what's up? Appreciate you. So yeah, so Starlink is what I'm going to do first, and then night vision. And I think after night vision, it will probably be suppressors. I think having a 9mm for my pistol caliber carbine and some of my ARs would be really, really handy. But appreciate y'all. Thank you for hopping on the live stream. We will see you next Sunday. Come check us out. New video coming tomorrow. Anyway, we'll see.